Welcome to Close Quarters right here on Hi TV as we speak about the new normal. Today we wanted to speak a little bit about the beauty industry in Sri Lanka. Hair and makeup is one of the most important things in terms of looking good and feeling good, and salons have been closed for months now, and with these new lockdown regulations and also the skeptical mindset of people going into such closed spaces, how is the salon and the beauty industry surviving? Speaking to me today, of course, I have the one and only Nayana with me, who is also championing the salon industry of Sri Lanka with many years of work in that. Thank you for joining me today.
Welcome.
So to start off, this whole lockdown situation has really crippled the beauty industry because it's not exactly what do you call it, a necessity. So people tend to shelf it. How has it been for you running salons across the island and also being in this union of protecting the Sri Lankan salon industry?
Well, first of all, it is an absolute necessity, Danu, which people may not realize, but it is so.
I of course realize.
Yeah, because
100%.
the thing is, it's a necessity, like your hair, the color, your haircut, basic things, not the luxury items such as facials and all, but the other things are necessity. And the second thing is that people find this cheap option of feel good. So and we have, so especially in my business, I have survived during the entire LTT trouble. So we have thrived. We have not gone down with such a civil war. So it is definitely a necessity. But your second part of your question, how has the salon industry survived? I think it's very similar to other industries. We have found out that the people who are established, I'm not saying the size, I'm saying the planning and the
infrastructure of the
infrastructure. Even a small salon, your planning, your commitment. So people who have had some kind of planning, saving, thinking of the rainy day, they have survived. It's the others who have not.
Now, salons have mushroomed everywhere across the island. Someone who may have worked with you has gone back home and started a small thing in a little space. Now they all fall under this same category. How are they coping? Have they reached out to you?
Yes, with the first lockdown, yes, people did reach out, not this time. I think people were generally ready. It was too much of a shock to them. But again, it's the same thing that we are all facing. I may be a little bigger than some of the others, but it's the same thing. So, how well planned are you? How well organized are you to cope with an emergency or a dire situation? So salons have been the same, and the most of the people who have not run it in at least a 50% professional manner are facing problems, not the others. Now, as if you take an example of the landlords, most of the landlords are very kind to us. They are not, many of them may not reduce the rent, Danu, but they give you space, they give you time. So that's because we have been professional in paying off those rent. It's something like that.
Yeah, if you maintain a good record,
that's right. And,
I understand.
And the clients are rushing in because they might do something at home just to survive, but they are waiting to come back to us. So that's what I say, to be organized. And we have a big problem in our industry, but because you know that lots of people have come up with talent, but not with too much of background education on management skills and all that. So the talented people do make a lot of money, but they don't know to save it, they don't know to think of tomorrow, they don't know that. So they are in trouble, not the others.
Not the others. Now tell me, essential services or anything that is affiliated on the lines of fundamental needs have been given a guideline and a structure to follow. Even hotels have been told. But when it comes to this beauty industry, has there been a regulation?
Okay. Yes, actually, we got it done ourselves. I'm very proud to say. The reason is the first lockdown, they announced publicly that salons need to be closed, and we were very badly hit. But when the initial time was over, we all got together and appealed to the government. We were asked to go to the World Health Organization first, and obviously the health ministry wanted certain health and safety standards maintained, and actually Danu, if you look at the average standard of health and safety of a salon, we hardly had anything to do. If we were to practice, if we had practiced them, we only had to do the additional 3 things for the COVID: the covering of the mouth, social distance, and washing the hands. So and we won over the ministry, and we were given permission to open the salons, and we made use of that chance to educate as much as possible our people through Facebook and other social media platforms, and it has helped. It really helped us. So the rules are to maintain social distance as much as possible, because ours is an intimate space.
Yeah.
There's nothing that we can do on a social
You
space.
can't do eyebrows
no
like
way.
that.
It's an intimate space of 6 inches or more. But then to take the precautions, the disinfections, wearing those masks, so we did all that. And then the washing of the towels, changing of the towels, capes, all those. I think even the barber salon that did not practice them had to do it. Now even the new regulation says 1 at a time, which means basically keep your distance of 2 meters or something. Large salons like ours can have 2, 3. A small one, have one, keep the other customer outside till you finish this one. So it's a very simple procedure. I am very proud to say, officially, so far we haven't heard of any salon spreading COVID. So I think we should be glad, happy about our
the fact that people have maintained such regulations.
Yeah.
Now there is a salon body in our country, and you have been the chairperson of it for a long time. Tell me, what do they do, and especially like who is a part of it, and how have they sort of supported their others or the other communities through this? Have they been able to reach out?
Well, we formed our association many years ago with the purpose of educating our people and bringing in some amount of professionalism. I think we have been successful to some extent and also failed to some extent. There are 2 problems that our industry has, which I feel. One is we have to have a more regulated, streamlined foundation education system, because now even if you take health and safety, then if you are taught as the first new student to wash the towel and wash the comb, that's embedded in you.
Yeah. You will do it throughout.
There, throughout. So that kind of education, the proper education, that's number one. Second thing is the salons to be regularized. There should be a license system, and because we are in a profession where we are handling human bodies, which is a very high responsibility. I always say we are not doctors, but the external body of the person is handled by us, and it is a responsibility and it's a danger. So we need to regularize the salon. So at the moment, those are the 2 things we are fighting for or are trying to do. I am happy to say that thanks to the government and thanks to our support, the standards are all done. SLSI standards are done for salons, very similar to the hotels, like the 5-star, 3-star, 2-star, like that. We also have A, B, C, and every salon, even the smallest barber salon, has his few simple rules to follow. And the bigger ones, more responsibility. So we want now the implementation of that with the support of the government. We can't do it ourselves because we have no authority. So that's what we are trying to do now.
Okay. Now, you as someone who has always been a busybody and wants to do 10 things at the same time, I can relate to you 100%. Tell me, how have you coped with COVID? And also, you're someone who has spoken about, awareness about staying positive, about, thinking bigger, thinking better, and also people who have been down because of this whole time period of staying at home, mentally and physically. What have you done to stay positive?
Actually, I think I have done very well. I'm trying to see what it is. I have basically been being a busybody, as you rightly say, and trying to balance. COVID taught me to stay alone, and the first lockdown, I happened to be alone in the house because my husband and child were both out of the house, and for 1.5 months they both didn't come, me and the dog. So and I still maintained the discipline throughout the day, no maids, nothing, so cleaning, sweeping, cooking, everything. I did lots of creative hairstyles, I did all these dummies. And I think, Danu, at the end of the day, I have found out that if you can live with yourself happily, you are at peace. And that I found. I was happy with myself. So the secret to that I don't know, but I'm contributing or attributing a lot to yoga, because I do yoga. I used to do 3 times a day. With COVID and with Zoom, I started 5 days a week, which was a super blessing. And our trainer was very, because of the COVID, he gave us 15 minutes additional pranayama, which is breathing. So you think of COVID, but actual truth is you are taking loads and loads and loads of oxygen, and that energizes you. So we have been doing a lot of things. I discovered Zoom. I mastered Zoom.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mastered
Not
Zoom.
only discovering, you mastered it.
Mastered Zoom, and we are working very strongly with India and Pakistan and Bangladesh.
That's amazing, because you have so many branches there.
Yeah,
So.
and spreading education very well. So it's good. Now
Right.
waiting to travel.
So current situation, salons are open with regulations, restrictions. Wanted to speak to her because better than speaking to anyone, because she knows the what's on paper, protocol that we need to follow when it comes to salons. So Sri Lankan salons have had no issues so far reported, which is a great thing. So if everyone maintains their standards, it's a safe environment to go. Always when you go as a client, you have all the freedom to ask, are you following your protocols? Is this sanitized? You know, it's something that you owe it to yourself as well.
Even this morning I went to the salon and came. See, everyone is worried about the clients. I'm worried about myself. Because you come and go, you are one person. But there are 10 clients that I handle, and I am exposed to COVID 10 times. So we have to look after our staff first. So that is even today I said, sanitize the whole place, clean up the whole place, you make sure you take
Look
all
after
precautions. So that way, without much effort, automatically the client is looked after and safe. So I think it is our responsibility first to look after ourselves and make sure the combs and the towels and the brushes and everything are washed, hands are sanitized, and place is cleaned up. But at the same time, Danu, this is not a new thing, no. This is our general rule and
This is what you should do.
Yeah, the only thing we are having a problem is with the face mask, and with people who wear specs, it's very hard because your breath goes into the air. Other than that, it's nothing. It's.
I found a tip for it. You have to put the specs over the mask. Press it down on it. That's what I do.
Okay.
On that note, we need to wrap things up. Thank you so very much for giving us an inside scoop to this. We'll be speaking to more industry heads about how they're coping with COVID-19. Till then, you be safe and take care.